everyone, this is Fantasy Ask, and welcome back to Royal Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, our clan's very pretty, blue-eyed noble was causing some heads to turn, heads that probably shouldn't be turning for her, like Quill Runner, who unlike his brother, despite being a loyal cat, is causing quite a bit of trouble and ripples in the romance pond because he is finding himself in situations with cats who are already promised to others. To be fair, Icicle Speck, his former mentor's mate, made a move on him first while training and things got a little bit too flirty. But he started being curious about Icicle Speck. And then when we had this blue-eyed noble, this beautiful noble magpie, be elevated into nobility from her servant status and brought into the grotto, after a couple of moons with her walking around and being so dainty, Quill Runner just couldn't help himself and he was fascinated by her. So he started prancing around in front of her a little bit too much, and now she's finding him intriguing as well. So I'm a little bit worried because our matchmaker at this point has white cough, which is a deadly disease or sickness, and because of that, she's unable to do the matchmaking sessions. So our cat Magpie has to try and make things work with Flailstorm, the cat that she's been matched with, the king's right hand, without any intervention from the matchmaker. And then she has all these distractions like Quill Runner. So we had all of that happen, and I am intrigued to see where this is going to go. So without further ado, let us dive into the leader's den. King Fernstar is considering how to handle the next gathering. Let's roll the dice to see what he decides. We have a 9 on the D10, which is down clan, and a 7 on the D8, which is praise. Okay, let's skip a moon, guys. Still no birth and death notices. When DownClan arrives at the gathering, King Fernstar, notices that DownClan's deputy is leading the patrol instead of their leader. King Fernstar is the first to wish DownClan's leader a speedy recovery, and the deputy smiles. DownClan relations have improved. Frostfade's bee sting is feeling all better, thank goodness. I have had a lot of cats get a bee sting. I've had kittens, apprentices, and adult cats. Even though bee stings are apparently deadly from what I'm gathering at the medicine den, we have not had a single case of someone dying from bee stings, which is good. So everyone except for Inkfeather, of course, is feeling pretty good. Medicine cat den. Inkfeather was given Tansy as treatment for white cough, less likely to die. Yes, we know that's dangerous. Frostfade was given Puppy as treatment for bee sting, and then he recovered from that. And Icicle Speck could not find any herbs this moon. Okay, let's have a look at relationships and see if anyone else is stirring the pot this time round. King Fernstar learns that Bearpelt is scared of thunder too. Foxpaw mentions that King Fernstar looks good today, so some father-son bonding. Scorchmoss has a mock battle with Quill Runner. Scorchmoss is able to work together with Bearpelt. Icicle Speck is motivated by Flailstorm's big smile. Icicle Speck and Foxpaw heckles another clan at the gathering together. Flailstorm just noticed how beautiful Scorchmoss's eyes are. Oh my goodness. These two, I think a couple episodes back we were talking about how Scorchmoss must feel with Flailstorm. He was obviously newly single after Buttercupfin died, and then he did move on from her eventually, many moons later. But before Scorchmoss could have a chance to, rekindle things with Flailstorm maybe again, the king made his match with Magpie. But we kind of said that Scorchmoss isn't, she doesn't seem like the proactive type of cat who would pursue Flailstorm, but then she also doesn't seem like the cat who would mind it too much or beat herself too much over her lost love, because she's still in love with him. Because she's wise enough to know that Flailstorm has closed the chapter on this in the past and probably is not interested in reopening it again. But it seems as though Flailstorm is maybe spending some time... they are friends, right? Romance aside, they are friends. But I think Flailstorm sometimes notices a bit too much in their friendship. A bit more than their friendship, you know? And I mean, he should be spending time with Magpie. But I suppose even for Magpie, who's kind of getting to know other members of the clan, she's getting intrigued by these other cats, and Flailstorm is falling back on Scorchmoss, so I don't know, just hanging out with her as a friend, but then noticing how beautiful her eyes are. Flailstorm. Flailstorm notices one of his friends talking to Quill Runner, and that's a negative effect. Now, I kind of like the idea that Flailstorm has maybe noticed that Quill Runner was making a move on his match. Like, Quill Runner was making a move on Magpie. And I wonder if part of him spending time with Scorchmoss, because even though they're friends, they haven't spent that much time together recently. I wouldn't be surprised if him going to Scorchmoss might be because he sees that Magpie's attention is wandering a little bit, and he wants to make her jealous, and he wants to bring her attention back to him. And I feel bad for Scorchmoss if she's being used that way. But I just feel like that seems more plausible, given that Flailstorm hasn't really been interested in her this whole time. And obviously that's why he's having a negative effect with Quill Runner, because Quill Runner is not exactly in his good books right now. Ghostpaw gets really close to Shining Stripe's face while talking and grosses Shining Stripe out with his bad breath. Oh my goodness. When a clanmate passes by holding stinking herbs, both Shining Stripe and Foxpaw gag. Flarefreckle knows that Scorchmoss is hiding something. I wonder if Scorchmoss is hiding the fact that she was spending time with Flailstorm, and that got her a little bit, more excited than she should be. Ghostpaw has to help Flarefreckle stop choking on a huge bone. Bearpelt wants to explore the whole territory with Flarefreckle, which is very, very cute. He wants to spend some time with his sister. Bearpelt learns about Ghostpaw's struggles and is surprised how well he carries himself. Magpie doesn't think Flarefreckle's weird joke was just a joke. Oh, so Flarefreckle earlier on picked up that Scorchmoss was hiding something, even if Scorchmoss didn't tell her. Maybe she noticed something. And then Flarefreckle, it's not confirmed for her, but maybe she cracked a joke about Flailstorm and Scorchmoss's friendship. But Magpie didn't take that too well, because she doesn't think, she maybe noticed something too, and she doesn't think it's just a joke. Shining Stripe stepped on Inkfeather's paw and pretended not to notice. Inkfeather thinks that Foxpaw looks nice today. Some mother son bonding. Quill Runner thinks Ghostpaw isn't very considerate of others. Quill Runner, Flailstorm, and Flarefreckle took a sunbath and had a little small talk. There'd be a lot of tension there. Flarefreckle, who's not entirely sure what's going on with Flailstorm and Scorchmoss. Flailstorm, who's kind of cheesed off at Quill Runner. And Quill Runner, who is trying to figure out why Flarefreckle has given Flailstorm a weird look, but also being wary of the fact that Flailstorm is Magpie's mate. Yeah, that would be a tense conversation. Quill Runner and Icicle Swag played around during patrol and got in a bit of trouble, but still returned to camp smiling. Shining Stripe helps Frostfade hide from a clanmate. Foxpaw thinks that Frostfade is very creative, so some mentor-apprentice bonding happening over here, which is really good. Ghostpaw thinks Flailstorm looks nicer than him today, and that's all we have for events, so let me cut the recording here and we'll pick up in the cat list. Okay, let's continue with the cat list. So first up, we have loyalties where nothing has really changed, so everything is pretty much the same here. Let's go ahead and check out the relationship panels. There were a couple things that I noticed with some of the cats, but obviously not everyone. So Fernstar, this is his page 1, page 2. Flailstorm, he was one of the cats, I had to look at my notes, that I noticed a change with. And we know this from events, guys. Flailstorm, just look at the romance between Magpie and Scorchmoss. He has 3.5 bars with Scorchmoss. And he has 3 and a little bit, a smidge with Magpie. So right now, he actually has more feelings for Scorchmoss than Magpie. Now, I think it's exactly as we said, because Flailstorm is a childish cat. I think he noticed that Quill Runner was giving Magpie some attention. He got a bit jealous, and he wanted to kind of bring Magpie, like, her attention back to him, but also he wanted her to feel a bit jealous as well. He got a bit too friendly with Scorchmoss, and I think he got a bit too involved. Started flirting with her, noticed how beautiful her eyes were, and it's like something that was meant to be childish ended up becoming a little bit too intimate. But now, because of that, he's kind of rekindled some of the feelings he had for her before Buttercup Finn ever came into the picture. Which I feel bad for Scorchmoss because I feel like she's being used right now. And Flailstorm, I mean, she genuinely loves him and has loved him for a very long time. But Flailstorm, he's not at the same headspace as her, you know? So I don't approve of this. But that's something that I noticed over here. And then this is his page 2. Who is the next one? Okay, hold on. Icicle Speck, his page 1, page 2. Ink Feather, this is a page 1, page 2. Bear Pelt, we've got his page 1 and page 2. Shining Stripe, we've got his page 1 and page 2. Flare Freckle, we've got her page 1 and page 2. Magpie, this is where we noticed the... Actually, no. Not in Magpie. Sorry. Not in Magpie. Wrong cat. This is her page 1. She's only got the 1 right now. Frostfade. This is his page 1, page 2. Quill Runner. This is where we noticed something. So Quill Runner actually has some romance gain with Icicle Speck, the other cat that he shouldn't be getting too close to, who he apparently is friends with now. Which is kind of interesting because Icicle Speck is the mate of Quill Runner's former mentor and his uncle, Shining Stripe. But if we look at these panels here, he isn't even friends with his uncle and mentor, Shining Stripe. He's not friends with either one of his uncles, right? And not even with his brother. He's not even friends with his brother. He's only friends with his mother, Flare Freckle, and with Icicle Speck right now. And I feel like a lot of this is probably because of Icicle Speck. Because Icicle Speck is like so charismatic. He creates a certain type of atmosphere when Quill Runner is hanging out with him. But they both went on a patrol. They got a bit too playful on the patrol, and they had such a good time even though they got in a little bit of trouble. So obviously when he was out with Icicle Speck, Quill Runner, it's like his attention was taken away from Magpie and was completely wrapped around Icicle Speck. And so he came back with all of like these feelings. So whenever he has the one-on-one time with Icicle Speck, the atmosphere ends up becoming such that by the time Quill Runner comes back, he's got all these feelings that he's never had before. Quill Runner, why can't you pick a single cat? Just pick a single cat. Oh my goodness. Honestly, the 2 cats that he ended up being interested or intrigued by, they were both cats that he shouldn't be messing around with because they are taken. How intriguing though. How intriguing. So anyways, this is Quill Runner, guys. His page 2. Fox Paw over here, his page 1, page 2. Ghost Paw, his page 1 and page 2. Scorchmoss, her page 1 and page 2. I didn't really notice anything new with her either. So that is all we have for the relationship panels. Now let's go ahead and see what everyone is doing for the day. King Fernstar thinks Flailstorm is doing a great job as his right hand. Okay, that is very good. So he is actually being encouraging of Flailstorm. Flailstorm is assigning cats to Dawn Patrol. No wonder the king thinks he's doing a great job because despite his childishness in his personal life, he is professionally very apt. Icicle Speck had a nightmare involving a 2-leg trap. Ink Feather is thinking about a strange 2-leg object she saw recently. Bear Pelt is lying in the center of camp. Shining Stripe is craving the taste of vole. Flare Freckle is playing tag with cats around camp. Magpie is boasting about her loyalty to a royal clan. Look at that, and the grotto. Frostfade had a nice chat with Alona outside clan territory. Maybe a potential servant for the clan? Fingers crossed. Paws crossed. Quill Runner has the apprentices very engaged in a very, very tall tale. Foxpaw is wondering just how good at swimming he really is. Ghostpaw charges forward during a border patrol, eager and unafraid. Okay, so it seems as though he's kind of recovered, I think, from the shock of the ambush and his sister's death, and maybe he's wanting to be better prepared to take on the adversaries. Scorchmoss can't wait to take a nap later. That's all we have for what they're doing in the day. Let's do a quick checkup on the rankings. Oh, look at that! Ghostpaw and Flare Freckle. Ghostpaw has 42 experience. Foxpaw has 40. Look at that. He managed to kind of turn things around towards the end. And right now, it seems as though Ghostpaw is in line to become the next prince. Obviously, we won't know until the next moon what the actual status is, because next moon is going to be their last moon as apprentices. My, they grew up so quick. But okay, now that we have done this, let's cut the recording here and get ready for patrols. Okay, let us continue with our patrols. We currently have 96.1 prey, and we need 32.5. So let's send out our royal physician first off to see what he gets up to. Are we going to have potential servants to join servant clan? Because we need females, man. While searching for some specific herbs, Icicle Speck is startled by weird sounds and whispers on the wind. Proceed. Icicle Speck follows the strange sounds on the wind and finds the body of an unknown queen with their kits beside them, slowly going cold. He cancels his patrol and returns to camp to get help sending these lost souls to Star Clan. Your clan's reputation towards outsiders has remained neutral. Unfortunately, because they were dead bodies, we couldn't manage to bring anyone back to Servant Clan. And now we're going to have a patrol of 6 and a patrol of 4, so let's see what the mentors decide. Okay, so Flare Freckle this time round has volunteered to go on the smaller patrol, and she is sending her apprentice Ghostpaw to be under the supervision of Frostfade, training alongside Foxpaw, his brother. Then we have Bearpelt, Magpie, and Flailstorm in this patrol. Okay, let's send them out and see what they come across. The patrol meets Liar Clan, a clan they consider to be allies at the border. So I feel like the youngsters aren't going to be able to get an advantage over each other because they're not in separate patrols. Ghostpaw approaches the other patrol first, calling out a greeting and then remarking on a recent battle between Liar Clan and one of the other clans. Ghostpaw compliments the Liar Clan cats on their battle prowess. Relations with Liar Clan have improved, but it seems as though Ghostpaw kind of stood out over here, which is really cool. This was a diplomatic patrol and he handled it very well. So I think when he's reporting back to Flare Freckle, she's going to be quite impressed with him. But in terms of experience, he's got 44, Foxpaw has 42. Okay, and now we have the smaller patrol going out. So we have Quill Runner, his mother Flare Freckle, Shining Stripe, Flare Freckle's brother, and we have King Fernstar. So let's see what they get up to. Fernstar sees 2 kids from Down Clan playing close to the border. Proceed. As King Fernstar goes to step over the border with Shining Stripe to retrieve the kids and bring them to their clan, they stop as they hear a Down Clan patrol shouting for the kids. King Fernstar is relieved to know they'll be safe with their own clan and resumes his patrol. The patrol doesn't realize that the Down Clan cats saw them cross the border and now look upon their departing backs with fury. Down Clan relations have worsened. Oh my goodness. This is why when you have questionable, a questionable reputation, right, as king, the other independent groups, they question your actions. Even if your intentions are largely good, they still, I think, question their own security and like what you would have done. What were you planning to do? My goodness. Okay. I don't think I've ever had like a negative reaction to that kind of prompt. I've always kind of saved the kittens and returned them. So this is kind of interesting. Okay, so that's all we managed to get done for today. It wasn't anything too drastic in terms of patrols and such. I think the most attention we had was probably, I think, with Magpie and Flailstorm, and the unexpected event with Flailstorm trying to make his match jealous. Yeah, with Scorchmoss, that was unexpected. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.